Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, today I have some fun little card ideas that I want to share with you, which actually feature a new product suite. And this particular suite is not coming out until the fall, but I attended an event yesterday through Stampin' Up, and I was so inspired by the suite and all the project ideas that I just thought I would come on and give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what comes. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to let a new suite of products called Winterly Treetops, and it is a just a gorgeous suite of products. There's a stamp set, a bundle, some designer paper. So I'll show you all of that. But I wanted to focus on these card ideas because we learned some fun techniques yesterday, and I thought I would share them with you today. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, here is what we are going to focus on. These are actually some of the card ideas um, that these are my own, but I was inspired to create these based on what I saw at the event. So, yeah, it is an amazing suite. So, I want to show you before I get into making these cards. I just want to show you a couple of things. This is the paper that we played with. This is called, what is it called? Nests of Winter. And it has just a variety of different patterns in it. I'm going to show you here just this bundle because this bundle has some really cool little dies in it. And of course, it has a coordinating stamp set. But the little dies in here cut out the images in the designer paper. So I love when I'm able to just cut these out and then use them in my card making. And so that's what I did for the cards that I'm going to share with you today. But that's just one of, well, you can see I've used this one. That's just one of the pretty little patterns that are in this particular set. So here is another, just look at all these beautiful patterns. I just love the birds, and this one will make a great one sheet wonder, being able to cut this one up. And then there is the last one. I'll quickly show you the back side. I know I don't usually share stuff this far in advance because it gets everybody so excited and then you can't get it until September. So, but this is the back side. These are the papers, what they look like on the back. So it really is a beautiful suite of products. And the cards that I created and that we create at the event, there were lots of demonstrators at the event, but the cards that we created were just so pretty with this set. And I think that what I thought was interesting is that there's no Christmas sentiments in here. These are all just general sentiments that you can use in your card making. Of course, you can add, your own Christmas sentiments if you wanted to. But I'm going to show you the cards that we made. So these are the cards. I actually didn't make them all yet. I only made 4 of them. I think there were 5 and a little gift box, but I didn't make that. I didn't have all the supplies for that. So, but these are some of the cards that we made during the event. And this is the fun technique that I'm going to show you today. I thought that was just really a cool little technique that we used to create this background. But it has a large die in it that creates this really pretty frame that you can use to, frame out your cards and add the little birds. So these are some of the cards that we made. I'm going to tone this down a little bit, hopefully here. Let's see. There we go. So I'm going to start out just with kind of showing you the card that we made, and then I kind of did like a little spin-off of the card. So this is what I did. I just did it in different colors. So we made this one during the event, and then I used some of the shapes that I cut out from the designer paper. So I used some of the little birds just to create this card. I should show you. I have a bunch of little birds that I cut out from the designer paper. Some I cut out by hand, and some I was able to cut out with the dies that are in the set. So here's what I cut out so far. So I plan to play with this suite a little bit more before it goes live. But let me show you, I'm just going to give you another idea for using this particular um, design. So instead of doing the embossing, I did some embossing in the background here on this white cardstock. I decided to just use some designer paper instead of doing the embossing. So the piece is 3.5 by 4 inches. And so I'm just using the birch paper instead of the birch embossing folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is just adhere this. So I'm going to take you through just a couple of the very simple card ideas, and then we'll do that little technique. Maybe if I can get my glue to work. So I don't know, it looks like some of you attended the event. I thought it was a really good event. There were lots of great project ideas and fun ways to use this new suite that's coming out. And then, so basically you just add this in the background. And then I have my little birds here, and I already stamped my greeting. So this is just a 5/8 inch wide piece, and it's 3 3/4 inches long. So I'm just going to add a couple dimensionals. But it makes for some really quick card making, and they're just so pretty. So let's add this up at the top first before we add our birds. And then we'll just add our birds. So just kind of wanted to give you a couple different ideas and kind of show you that you can use your layouts over and over again. So you don't have to always come up with a brand new way of doing something. You can use the layouts over and over to create some really pretty cards. And then these are some of the new gems. These are the earth tone gems. So I'm just going to add a couple of those to this card, and that is pretty much all we have to do. And then I'll bring back that other one so you can see all three of them. So all three of these cards are just very different. So there's two. And then here's the third one. So it's the exact same layout, but I just different colors, different backgrounds, just to create three different cards. So on the inside, I wanted to mention too, I used some of the birds. You know, sometimes the designer paper has these beautiful images, and they're kind of on the edge of the paper. Well, you can cut those out with the die and just decorate the inside of your card. Just line up, I lined up the edge of the paper here with the edge of my white cardstock just to kind of decorate the inside. So just a fun way to use some of the images in this suite. And then this next card was actually not one that we made during the event, but one of the presenters showed us, gave us a similar card idea, and I just thought it was just a really pretty way to use this suite. So I'm going to just grab my ink pad, my Night of Navy, and let's grab one of these greetings here. We'll do Thinking of You again. So basically, I modified her version. She didn't give us necessarily the measurements, but I just kind of made up my own, I guess. So this is just a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of white cardstock. And so basically you just stamp a greeting on the bottom. Hopefully I got this straight. And then you just decorate it. So it's a very quick and simple design. You can do this with any supplies that you have on hand. You don't necessarily have to have the supplies that I'm using. And then I just added a 2 by 3 3/4 inch piece of pattern paper on the top. And then I just used some of this ribbon. So this is just white, kind of forget what this is called. Thought it was on here. Frayed. This is frayed ribbon. Anyways, we're just going to add this across the front here. And never fails, I lose my scissors. So we'll just add a little piece. And I'm just going to use one of actually my snail adhesive for this. And I'm just going to add, hopefully, a little bit of tape. And then just add your ribbon across there. And then we'll fold it over to the back. Maybe. So this is a little thicker ribbon. So I am actually going to pop this whole thing up on the card front. So we'll add some dimensionals in the background here. And let's put a couple right here. All right. So we'll pop this up. I'm just using Night of Navy as for the base of the card, just to kind of draw out that blue. So we'll pop this up on the front. And then we'll just add our little birds here. And so again, these are the ones that I cut out from the designer paper. So we will pop this up maybe right about there. And that's how quick and simple it is to create just a really pretty card. And then you can embellish it with anything you want. And again, I used some of the images that were kind of on the side of the designer paper just to kind of decorate the inside of the card. All right, so those are the two simple cards. And then this one's simple too. But this is the one that I created, which is very similar to the one that we created at the event. And the one we created at the event uses some smoky slate cardstock in the background to create the birds. And we did a little bit of coloring with some watercolor pencils. At the event, they used I think it was the hexagon punch, but I don't have that punch. So I just used the oval, the modern oval. And I'm going to grab some scrap paper and I'm going to show you how we created this background because I just thought it was really neat. It was a great way to use kind of the negative space or I guess it was the positive space. So I just cut a 3.5 by 5-inch, 5 1/8 inch piece of white cardstock. And the die, I'm going to show you this. The die actually cuts out two pieces here. So when you use one of the large dies in the set, it cuts out this really pretty frame, which we used for the card making. And this was the piece that kind of came out of the center. And this is the piece that we're going to use to do a little bit of stenciling with. So I'm just going to use the piece that I used yesterday, which is this piece. And I'm just going to add just a little bit of tape, maybe. Can't seem to get my tape to work. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of tape just to kind of hold that in place. So I'm kind of using the piece that you would throw away. And I'm going to grab my Mossy Meadow ink. And we're just going to use a blending brush. And we're just going to go around and blend. This is Mossy Meadow. So we're just going to go around and blend this into those spots. And it's going to twist a little bit. So this just made me think of what other dies do I have that create kind of um, a nice big piece like this that, we can throw away. That would be kind of fun to stencil with. We're just going to go all the way around. And once we get done with this, then I'll show you the even cooler part. Yes, there's a cooler part. So we're almost done with this little section here. I've done this since the event. I've done this several times, so this particular piece of cardstock is getting a little bit worn out for me doing this. All right, so now we'll just take this off, and we have just a really pretty background. Oh, I forgot to add a little bit up there. Get a little bit in there. So this is the way that I had it on my project. So now I'm just going to turn it, and I'm going to put it back on the project, just kind of upside down. And then I'm not going to ink this up anymore. I'm just going to use the ink that's on here, and we're going to go around and we're going to add some more ink in all these different spots. Here's the one that there's the part of the die that's getting just a little bit worn out from all this sponging, blending. All right, we'll just go around and add this. And we'll do a couple more. So this is actually going to give such a great effect. I mean, the first effect was very cool with just having the leaves on there kind of blended into a frame, but this effect is really neat. So when you take this off, you have a lighter set of leaves and a darker set of leaves, and they're just kind of offset. So can you see that? That is just the coolest technique ever. I just really liked this. All right. So now that we have this background done, now we can put our card together. So I have what do I have here? A 3 7/8 by 4-inch piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. And this is actually going to go behind this piece. So I'm going to add that to my card base. And I have a couple other card ideas that I'll share with you after I put this one together. Because during the event, not only did I put together the cards from the event, but then I also was creating with it after the event. So we'll put this right down the center. And then we'll put this on top. We'll give that a second to set up. And then we're just going to add the birds. And this time I used, again, those birds that I cut from the designer paper. And then this little greeting. So we will figure out how I want this to go. I think we're going to put the birds there. So let's add the birds. I'll add these off to the side. And then we'll add our little greeting. So isn't that a neat little effect? I just thought that was really neat. So now I'm going to have to look and see what other dies I have that I can do this with because I think it's really cool. All right, so let's tuck this underneath. Let's just put it right about there. And that's it. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. All right, I'm going to bring this one back so you guys can see it. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. So, so these are the cards that I created, which are kind of a spin-off of what we created at the event. And then I put together a couple other card ideas that I just want to share with you. Um, one of the colors in this particular suite is gray granite. And I just thought it just made some really beautiful cards. There's some really pretty birds in this particular suite in the designer paper that I thought looked really pretty just with the kind of white and gray and then accented with a little bird. Oh, it looks like it getting dark here. There we go. So basically what I did is I cut out the frame in white. So this one has the white frame. It's very similar to the one I just shared with the blended frame. So this has just the white frame on it. And then instead of using this leftover piece from cutting out that frame, instead of using this leftover piece to do, the blending, I actually used it to create this particular card. So this is actually the background here for this card. So you don't necessarily have to throw this piece away. You can use it to do the blending, or you can use it in the background. You just cut a piece of cardstock to go behind that piece, and it just gives a really cool look. So it does kind of look like I used this fancy die, but actually I used the stuff that was left over from the fancy die to create the background for this card. So I just thought it was a fun little suite of products. Let's see if I can spread these out a little bit so you guys can see them. And I just had a blast creating with it. I just wanted to do something a little bit different today, give you guys a little sneak peek and get you excited about what's coming out in the fall in the new mini catalog. And we got lots of different ideas at the Creativity Now event from Stampin' Up yesterday. So, like I said, I was so inspired by the project ideas that I just decided to share them with you today. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas, and I hope you enjoyed just a little sneak peek into that new product suite. And definitely, you guys can use these card ideas, the layouts, with current supplies that you already have on hand. So I know I kind of get you all excited about a product suite that you can't get, but keep in mind you can use these layouts really with any supplies. Of course, they look really cool with these supplies, but you can use them with any. So I'll get these out on the blog for you guys later today so that you guys can just take a peek at them, and you'll have all the measurements for the different layouts that I use to create these cards. And then you can use supplies that you have on hand to create some cards right now. All right, so I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a great week, and I will see you all again next week. So take care, everybody.